Okay, so let's just jump right in. Have you ever looked around and wondered why some people seem to be absolute magnets for drama and manipulators, while other people just seem to walk through the world like completely untouched? Well, today we're going to dig into a really powerful secret from Carl Jung. And it's not about being tougher or building walls, it's about developing this quiet, internal power that makes you psychologically inaccessible. You know that feeling, right? That total emotional exhaustion that comes from feeling like you're always a target? You're the one trying to keep the peace, you're the one who gives way too much, and you're always trying to avoid conflict. But somehow, you just end up in the same draining cycles over and over and over again. It feels so unfair, and honestly, it's just tiring.
So you can really see the contrast here. On one side, you've got the target, kind of stuck in that loop we just talked about. And on the other side, you've got the inaccessible, the person who seems almost invisible to these emotional predators. The whole point of this explainer is to show you how to get from that first column over to the second one, how to actually make that transformation. So how does this whole dynamic even get started?
Okay, so how does this even happen? Let's break it down. This first part is so important because it explains how manipulators actually find their targets. And spoiler alert, it's not really a conscious choice. It's more like a primal instinct.
I want you to think about it like this. Toxic people, they really do operate like emotional predators. They have this unsettling, almost animal-like instinct for sniffing out our wounds. It's like they can just sense where you hide your fear, or your shame, or your deepest needs, and a lot of times you don't even have to say a single word.
Carl Jung actually had a name for this. He called it projection. And what it is really are these subtle, unconscious signals that we're all sending out all the time. The best way to think about it is like emotional blood in the water. And just like sharks, these predators are drawn to it. They're drawn to people who are wounded because that's where they can most easily get power and control.
So here's the really crucial point. If the problem is an internal wound, then the solution can't be an external wall. The real work isn't about building bigger defenses around yourself. It's about healing from the inside out. And this process is what Jung called integrating your shadow.
And this quote right here, this is the key that unlocks everything. Seriously, think about someone who makes you unbelievably angry or just disgusted. Maybe it's their arrogance, maybe it's their laziness. Jung's really radical idea is that the thing we hate so intensely in someone else is almost always a direct reflection of a part of ourselves that we've pushed down or refused to look at. So what on earth does it mean to integrate the shadow? Well, it's the process of looking at those so-called ugly parts of yourself. You know, the anger, the jealousy, the selfishness, all the stuff you were taught to bury. But instead of running from them, you turn around and you face them with total honesty. And that is how you turn pain into real, powerful self-knowledge. This is the question you have to start asking. From now on, when you have that huge emotional reaction to someone, instead of focusing all your energy outward on them, you pull that energy back inside and ask, with brutal honesty, what is this person showing me about myself? What unhealed part of me are they reflecting? This is the moment you start taking your power back.
Now, as we start to do that internal work, we can begin to use a really powerful external strategy, and that is the antidote of neutrality. It's all about understanding the game that manipulators are playing and then simply refusing to play along. You have to get this. This is so important. Manipulators thrive on your emotional reaction. Your fear, your anger, you getting all defensive and trying to explain yourself. To them, that is pure food. It's the confirmation they're looking for that their tactics are working and that they have control over your emotional state.
So, look at how this game works. First, they throw out some bait. It could be a sarcastic comment, a backhanded compliment, or just that heavy, punishing silence. Now, the old you would have taken the bait, right? But the new you sees it for what it is, just a cheap attempt to throw you off balance. So what do? You respond with calm, conscious silence, or just serenity. And what happens? Poof, their power completely deflates. They lose interest so fast when they can't get a rise out of you.
And this leads us straight to the next deeper level of this work, which is all about shifting our focus from external actions to our internal state. It's about building internal boundaries. This is such a critical distinction. We all talk about external boundaries, learning to say no to people, and that's important. But true, unshakable boundaries, they're internal. It's this deep, quiet clarity inside you that says, I do not need your approval. I don't need your yes to be valid. Your existence is enough, period. You see, toxic people can only get in if there's an open door. And these right here, these are the most common ones. your deep need to be liked by everyone, your desperate desire to be seen as a good person, your terror of being rejected or, God forbid, being seen as cold. As long as these needs are running the show, a manipulator can grab onto them and use them like a lever to control you.
So when you start closing those internal doors and you start integrating your shadow, that's when you begin the ultimate transformation. You start to become, for all intents and purposes, psychologically invisible to predators.
This is such a powerful idea. Look, we all have the capacity for things like envy or pride or even cruelty. It's just part of being human. When you stop pretending those parts don't exist in you and instead you just acknowledge them consciously, they stop having power over you. And when a manipulator realizes you have nothing left to hide from yourself, well, they lose all their leverage. They've got no buttons left to push.
The result of this whole journey is something Jung called psychic integrity. It's a state of wholeness. It's not about being perfect, far from it. It's about being complete. And when you achieve this, it's like your very energy, your personal frequency, just naturally repels manipulators. There's simply no cracks for them to get into.
The image to hold in your mind is a hard, smooth stone. Think about it. There are no jagged edges, no soft spots, no little places for a predator to sink their claws in and get a grip. You're just solid, whole. And that is the end goal. That's the state you reach. It's not that people don't see you. Of course they do. It's that the emotional predators no longer see you as a target. You just don't send out those victim signals anymore. To them, you have become psychologically invisible.
So, you see, the real work starts inside. This entire journey of becoming inaccessible isn't about fighting the world out there. It's about finally understanding yourself in here. So I'll leave you with this to really think about. What is that part of you that you've pushed away? That part that gets so irritated by other people? What is it trying to teach you?